tonight, a new plan to tackle grocery prices.
What this will require will be a much higher level of transparency.
How the province plans to take on shrinkflation and why some local grocers fear it won't make a difference. Also tonight,
we agree with 5. We'll give you part of one of them, and we disagree with 5.
Why a new housing project in St. Boniface might not be going ahead, despite getting the thumbs up from city councillors. And later, happy trails for you. A new bike path opens in Fairgrove Park.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Taylor Brock.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Increasing access to groceries, making them more affordable and more transparent pricing. The Manitoba government says it will target shrinkflation with a new law while also exploring the possibility of a downtown grocery store. CTV's Jeff Keel shows us why the plan doesn't check out for a local grocery store.
It seems you get a lot less in your grocery cart for more money these days.
You buy the essentials and you have to really grin and bear it.
I just don't understand how people are making it now. It must be very difficult for them.
The province released a grocery price study Monday with the aim of lowering costs. Based on the study, the finance minister says the province will bring in a new law to target shrinkflation. That's when packaging is reduced, but the price stays the same or rises. Now grocers will have to display the unit price so people will know when they are paying more for less.
Ultimately, what this will require will be a much higher level of transparency, allowing Manitobans to be able to compare prices.
I'm all for that, you know, because people aren't going to read the fine print on the back of a box. I don't.
But some in the industry say this won't make a difference.
Don't keep coming back to me and have me do more and more work that's really not going to drive prices down.
Also based on feedback from the study, the province says it will explore the possibility of a new downtown grocery store to improve access to affordable food.
Absolutely, I need fresh produce, desperately, and fresh meat.
It's a real grocery desert.
Plans for the new Portage Place have included a full grocery store, but the study says the government could explore a public grocery store model where traditional retail options are limited.
This is only about committing to continuing to look at how we ensure that people can access healthy groceries downtown. In terms of the delivery approach, this right now is just simply a commitment to explore.
Generally okay with most of the recommendations. A couple of them are head scratchers, like the public grocery store.
Jeff Keel, CTV News Winnipeg.
The province is also committing to measure the price of food in different regions across Manitoba. It says this will allow them to respond to families' needs based on where they live. The province also announced funding for a major expansion of Harvest Manitoba. $2.5 million is coming from the province for the planned food transformation center. That's where Harvest will take food donated from farms and grocery stores and turn it into healthy meals. The new 100,000 square foot center is expected to make 520,000 meals a year.
Well, as you can see here in the warehouse today, I mean, we're absolutely up to our ears in inventory. We've had a doubling of the number of people that we serve in the last 5 to 6 years. So the reality is the infrastructure, the building that we have in place today simply no longer meets our needs. We need to have more space, more cold storage, more ability for shipping, receiving, but also food transformation.
The project is estimated to cost $30 million to build. A location has not yet been chosen. The rate of inflation surged faster here in Manitoba compared to most of Canada last month. Statistics Canada says the annual rate of inflation jumped to 3.2% in May, up from 2.8% in April. That's the highest rate since December 2023. Our rate here in Manitoba was 4.6%, up 3 points from a month earlier. Economists, however, see little cause for panic with oil prices already receding and the Bank of Canada unlikely to move away from the sidelines anytime soon. Now, on the other side of the coin, a new poll suggests Manitobans are more optimistic about their finances than most. According to the Angus Reid Institute, a little more than 3/4 of Manitobans say their household's current financial situation is in good shape. This includes 13% who say it's very good. Nationally, 7 in 10 report good or very good finances. Manitobans were also less likely than most of the rest of the country to criticize the government for its performance of the economy. The online survey of more than 4,200 Canadian adults was conducted between June 4th and 10th. It was made up of members of the Angus Reid Forum. However, a random sample of the same size would carry a margin of error of plus or minus 2 percentage points. A 55-year-old man is dead following an unprovoked attack in North Point Douglas. Winnipeg police say he was approached by another man in the 100 block of Henry Avenue around 1 Thursday afternoon. During an unprovoked argument, the suspect stabbed the victim in the upper body before running off. The victim, identified as Ronald Alexander Grego Finley, was rushed to hospital but died. The homicide unit is investigating. Anyone with information, including dash cam security or cell phone video around the time of the incident, is asked to call police or Crime Stoppers. The NDP are announcing their pick to run for MLA in the northern riding of the Pas-Kamisak, a seat formerly held by the NDP by the late Amanda Laughlin. NDP voters have selected Jennifer Flett as their nominee. Flett was a councillor and the first elected vice chief for Pasqueyac Cree Nation. She also spent 20 years working for the Correctional Service of Canada. Since 2015, the riding had been represented by the NDP's Amanda Laughlin. She passed away this past March at the age of 49. Laughlin was the first First Nations woman to be elected to the Manitoba legislature. The next election in our province must be held on or before October 5th of 2027. And some exciting news tonight for cyclists who live near Fairgrove Park. A brand new community trail officially opened to the public today. Fairgrove Park Trail is the brainchild of Luke Barr, a teacher at nearby Stanley Knowles School. Barr noticed the park was filled with ferns and other natural features, which would be perfect for a bike trail, especially one that would be used by young riders. However, trails just don't get created on their own. This one took years of effort.
We hit a point where I just sort of wasn't, I'm a teacher, I don't navigate bureaucracy and stuff, and it got tough, and I didn't really know the next steps. And students from our green team came to me and said, no, Mr. Barr, you need to get this done. You need to put in this work. You need to take advantage of these grants. And that started the next grant writing process.
Thanks to key support from City Councillor Vivian Santos and Trails Manitoba, the project has now become a reality. Councillor Santos says the Winnipeg School Division will help to maintain the active transportation trail, which is on city property. And here is our first look at tonight's weather. It's pretty warm right now, actually, sitting at 17 degrees Celsius with a mostly cloudy sky, pressure rising, and humidity sitting at 74%. Tonight in Winnipeg, there is a chance of showers overnight, with 14 degrees being the coolest it'll get. That chance of showers will likely become showers by the time most of us wake up or head to work, with a chance even of a thunderstorm throughout the day. It'd be 15 degrees in the morning. A record-tying storm. Later, how many hail damage claims have come into MPI from this month's extreme weather event. A controversial infill development plan has passed its first hurdle. The development at 470 Des Miron was hotly debated at the Riel Community Committee and passed unanimously. But as CTV's Harrison Chin shows you, the developer didn't get a free pass.
Despite opposition from nearby residents, a significant housing development in St. Boniface got its first green light.
We are requesting some fairly minor variances that have been approved for countless other infill developments, including 2 of our developments just down the street.
470 Des Miron Street is currently a light industrial zone, previously housing the company Overhead Door. On Friday, the Riel Community Committee unanimously voted yes to rezone the property to residential. Freedom Developments wanted 11 variances, such as no front yards and no guest parking. City councillors said not so fast.
We agree with 5. We'll give you part of one of them, and we disagree with 5. And eventually the 3 councillors decided to back the planning department. We could have voted one by one, but it seemed like a good balancing act.
City planners recommended 10 feet of front yard and keep the 11 required guest parking spaces. Developer Jonathan Freed said some of his other buildings don't have any visitor parking, and here there's ample street parking.
I guess the alternative is if we went below grade for parking and rents skyrocketed and we could no longer do affordable housing. So I mean, that's kind of the trade-off.
Mayor Scott Gillingham says residents' concerns should be kept in mind.
It's too early for me to say, if I hope to see any changes, but I do want to see housing built and look forward to this file coming through the committee process.
CTV News reached out to area councillor Matt Allard for additional comment. Allard reserved his comment as the matter still needs to be voted by council. Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
A house fire claimed the life of a woman in Selkirk over the weekend. RCMP say the blaze broke out Saturday night at a home on Clandeboye Avenue. Crews were met with flames and heavy smoke when they arrived, but firefighters entered after learning a woman was still inside. Mounties say a 29-year-old woman was found unresponsive. She was pronounced dead at hospital. Authorities believe the fire was accidental. An investigation is underway. It's official. The megastorm that rocked our province earlier this month is now tied for the highest number of claims Manitoba Public Insurance has ever received due to a single weather event. MPI has now received roughly 24,000 claims from the weather event, which saw numerous tornado alerts and widespread hail damage. The previous record was set following a hailstorm back in 1996. Because of the sheer volume of claims, MPI has opened a dedicated hail response center at its Gateway Service Center. It opened last Wednesday and has already handled more than 1,200 assessments. The public insurer is warning there could be delays in getting claims processed due to the high volumes, which continue to pour in. One person is dead and another seriously injured after a car rolled into a ditch in the arm of Oakview. It happened Saturday afternoon, just after 4:30 p.m. on Highway 24. Police say a westbound vehicle hit the gravel shoulder. The driver then overcorrected, crossed both lanes, and rolled into a ditch. A 35-year-old man who was found inside of the car died from his injuries. A 39-year-old man who was ejected from the vehicle was taken to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The cause of the crash is under investigation. The federal government's infrastructure arm is throwing its weight behind a high-speed internet project in our province. The Canada Infrastructure Bank has agreed to loan nearly $27 million to Valley Fiber for its broadband service expansion, which involves laying more than 1,200 kilometers of fiber optic cable. This map shows which underserved communities will soon have access to the service, which offers broadband speeds up to 1 gigabyte per second. Valley Fiber says construction is already underway in some of the areas just south of Winnipeg. The rest will start on a staggered basis throughout the summer.
What this will enable is, in essence, a fiber infrastructure that will go into these communities so that residents of those communities can get the same world-class experience broadband service that people in urban centers have enjoyed for a number of years.
Valley Fiber CEO Ryan Clausen says the company is aiming to have the services ready for nearly all of those areas before the end of the year. Now to a big boost for a first-of-its-kind clean energy project in northern Manitoba.
For generations, northern communities have been asked to adapt systems designed elsewhere. Today, Sayasi Dene First Nation is designing its own future.
The federal government is helping the First Nation in its development of Manitoba's first integrated renewable energy microgrid with a $21.6 million boost. Planning began in 2020, but the first phase includes solar power and battery storage and a controlled microgrid. The goal is to eventually reduce diesel reliance by 60%.
Revenue generated from solar power will go toward community needs as we strive to become more sustainable and reduce our emissions.
The project is expected to reduce diesel usage by 26% each year and emissions by an estimated 500 tons of carbon dioxide annually. A solar power field is set to be built next to the diesel plant this summer, with the microgrid going online this fall. The Prime Minister has tapped Manitoba's Chief Justice to the highest court in the country. Glenn Joyal has been nominated to fill the vacancy on the Supreme Court of Canada. Prime Minister Mark Carney says Joyal has demonstrated the integrity, experience and judgment required of the Supreme Court. Joyal has served as the Chief Justice of the Court of King's Bench in Manitoba since 2011. The selection process for a new justice began in March to replace Justice Sheila Martin, who retired at the end of May.
It was the first steam locomotive built by CN in Western Canada, and it was the first of 33 steam locomotives built here in Transcona.
Decades and decades of service. The milestone anniversary being celebrated by the Transcona Museum's steam locomotive, and warm and partly cloudy. We'll show you when to slather yourself in sunblock, still to come in your complete Skywatch forecast. Looks like Lady Luck has been visiting Crystal over near Gordon here in Manitoba. You can send your weather photos to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca. And I do have a feeling weather photos over the next couple of days could be a little, let's say, rainy. We are going to be seeing here in Winnipeg and, well, really much of Manitoba, some more precipitation, but sunshine is kind of in the middle of it. We'll talk more about that later. Let's take a look at what's going on tonight. So there is a chance here in Winnipeg we could be seeing some showers overnight, more likely throughout the day tomorrow. Now, this system is first going to hit the hardest in southwestern Manitoba, including places like Brandon tomorrow, starting very early in the morning, pushing its way into our part of the province as the day goes on. Now, here in Winnipeg, a chance of thunderstorms, but more likely heavier rain in the afternoon and evening as well. Northwestern Ontario, you're not really going to be seeing much rain tomorrow until the evening. However, we are seeing in southern Manitoba not getting much of a break except for a day. Again, I'll show you that in a second. Northern Manitoba, things will be a little wetter for you folks come Wednesday afternoon as we see scattered showers throughout the province. In northern Manitoba tonight, a clear sky in Churchill with 2 degrees as the low, 15 as the high. Tomorrow, bright and sunny with that high. Taking a look to the west, we are seeing 23 degrees as the high for much of the area, excluding the PA for tomorrow, with 21 as your expected high. And those scattered showers for you folks potentially starting on Wednesday as well. And tonight, as we saw just a moment ago, a chance of thunderstorms in southern Manitoba, particularly very early in the morning in the southwest, including Brandon, where tomorrow temperatures will reach a high of 16 degrees. In Winnipeg tomorrow, 18 degrees as the high, with that rain we mentioned just a moment ago. Taking a look into northwestern Ontario, cloudier tonight in Kenora with 11 degrees as your expected low. 21 though is the high tomorrow with a chance of rain. Again, not quite as heavy as what folks in Brandon will be seeing tomorrow. And now let's skip to the kinda good stuff. Yes, we see a lot of rain, a lot of lightning on our 7-day forecast, but a silver lining or a glimmer of sunshine for us, if you will, on Wednesday. Transcona CN 2747 celebrated its 100th anniversary over the weekend. 2, 3, CN! Face painting, a community barbecue, and more took over Rotary Heritage Park Saturday. Officially, the historic steam locomotive turned 100 in April, but Transcona Museum decided to throw a celebration during the summer when the weather is better. The museum's curator thanks the community for supporting the preservation work.
It was the first steam locomotive built by CN in Western Canada, and It was the first of 33 steam locomotives built here in Transcona. So very special to the community, but also it was donated to Transcona by CN, donated to the Kiwanis Club as a representative of the importance of the railway to the community. So the fact that we still have it, the fact that we've been working hard to repair it, to preserve it for future generations, I think that means a lot.
The museum plans to keep the train in shape for its 200th anniversary.
Well, you don't see that all the time.
An unusual fashion choice. Why a teacher decided to wear a different costume each school day for an entire year. Next. Actors often have to wear costumes for their roles, but you rarely see teachers wear a variety of costumes in the classroom. However, that's exactly what one Canadian educator did. CTV's Adam Swatsky shows you why he challenged himself to wear a different costume to work every day for a year.
For PJ Van Grinsven, those first couple weeks of high school felt overwhelming.
Every morning coming into the school was difficult.
But then the grade 9 student would start hearing a song in the distance.
That was crazy.
Before seeing a costumed character dancing in the hallway.
That's something pretty special. You don't see that all the time.
But then she was told she actually would see it every day. And PJ knew everything would be okay.
It brings a lot of joy to your day.
You see, Japanese and English teacher Dale Sakayama had committed to dress in costume every school day during his final year before retiring.
I really wanted the idea of going out with a bang, not a whimper.
So, Dale organized the collection of costumes he'd amassed over his almost 30-year career to celebrate special occasions, and then spent a week finding creative ways to combine them before constructing a schedule so he could wear a different outfit for almost 200 days.
I just felt that we needed just something to jolt us out of our monotony.
And because his costumes were impossible to ignore, Dale made it possible to acknowledge every student he passed with a hello.
I wanted to make sure every kid is noticed, build that sense of community connection.
And while he hoped to hear from students that he'd fostered fun,
he's a really big joy in our school community.
And offered a lesson in the power of authenticity.
Be yourself and not let anybody judge you for who you are.
Dale never expected to see what happened during his final staff meeting.
People just started walking in. They were wearing costumes.
One after another, Dale's colleagues paraded into the room in tribute, to not just say thank you for his positive impact, but show him.
I couldn't believe it. It was just deeply affecting.
And now that he's just days away from teaching the last class of his career in costume, Dale hopes his lasting legacy is this.
Don't expect that the job is going to bring you joy. You have to bring your joy to the job.
Adam Swatsky, CTV News.
We would have loved to have seen other people finding deals and just, finding their games.
Do you want to play a game? How about 100? Why a massive board game collection went up for sale in Winnipeg this weekend, and we'll break down tomorrow's forecast next.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Well, as mentioned, tomorrow will be a rainy day for us here in Winnipeg, a little cooler as well. Now, to watch out for in the afternoon is there is a chance that we could be seeing a thunderstorm. Along with that, some stronger winds coming out of the southeast at 50 kilometers an hour with those gusts. A late Métis Ojibwe playwright's board game collection was able to meet its new owners thanks to his children. Ian Ross, best known as Joe from Winnipeg, died in November 2025 at the age of 57. Now, he was a collector of board games for about 30 years and organized the Winnipeg Board Game Club. On Saturday, his children Julia and Chris held the Ian Ross board game sale at Lord Roberts Community Centre. Hundreds of games were up for sale. The event was so popular that people lined up outside the community centre before it even opened, hoping to get their hands on a game.
If my dad saw how many people were just so thrilled and just saw how many people were just in awe of how many games he had, it would just make him so happy. It would fill his heart. He was such a generous man, and he gave so much, and he would have loved to have seen other people finding deals and just, finding their games.
Julia says she wanted to make sure people could find games at a good price. And that's it for us tonight. Thank you for watching, and good night.